James Ernest, Gruel and Truth Radio Network, here with UFC alumnus Brad Kohler. Brad, what have you been up to?
James, I've been up to a lot. Hey, thanks again for having me on the show. Things have been going great here. How about yourself?
Things are going wonderful.
Good.
Just enjoying a nice upbeat, getting ready for the holiday season.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I mean, of course, this is our season in the fitness industry. As you know, the combo hitter is more of a fitness apparatus than a fighting apparatus anymore, and then so it's really been taken off.
Exactly, and that's the reason why it was perfect to have you on the show this time of the year, because on one hand, it makes a great Christmas present, but on the other hand, of course, that the New Year's resolution, so a little bit of both.
It is. It's great. It's definitely it's been a dream come true having this sketch from a napkin sitting there at a restaurant one day come to reality, and now be one of the top 3 boxing apparatuses in the world.
Wow, that's saying a lot. I mean, coming out of a couple years ago, coming out of nowhere, and now, like you said, it's one of the top 3 in the world. That is phenomenal.
It is. It's been fantastic. A few years ago we signed with Rogue Fitness out of Columbus, Ohio. They took a chance on us that we're a boxing apparatus catering to their CrossFit clientele, and they sell about 100 units a month to their CrossFit clientele, and it's a boxing apparatus. That was going great for about a year. We signed with Forza Sports, which is mostly karate and jiu-jitsu and martial arts, and then Fuji mats. And our latest addition to the family is Ringside Boxing, the grandfather of them all, which, if you remember Ringside Boxing magazines, it's one of the oldest MMA and boxing supply company in the world, and they also own Combat Sports and Fitness First, so I'll be now on all 3 of their sites. So yes, we've grown quite a bit.
So it sounds like your product's available in a wide variety of places.
Yeah, also Amazon and Walmart, yeah.
Oh, nice. So with that, you have the combo hitter, the heavy hitter, the combo kicker, and then what's the...
Well, the 8-station unit that we just launched is called the Hitter System, and that is also teamed up with Ringside Boxing, that we have the 2 double-ended balls, 2 heavy bags, and then 4 combo hitters inside a 1,200-pound. It's a steel frame that basically is it's like a squat rack. So we want 4 combo hitters on the inside, and there's arms coming out the corners for the heavy bags and double-ended ball, making it an 8-station unit that only takes up about 8 by 8 feet. That's it.
Oh wow!
It's a great space saver. Kind of like the combo hitter being mounted to the wall is a space saver, and then it's very durable, very solid, and we've really invented that and brought that out for the Rocksteady Boxing Parkinson's community that we are really highly involved with and very passionate about helping in their cause. So Rocksteady Boxing is one of the fastest franchise affiliates out of Indianapolis that helps Parkinson's patients. I've been with them for about 3 years now. They helped form a case study at Case Western University that was government funded that showed that the combo hitter is a proven trauma reducer when it comes to a punching apparatus. So it actually reduces trauma by 99% as opposed to a heavy bag.
Oh wow!
So the Parkinson's community, just loves the product, and of course you can hit it in every direction. So it's very safe.
So with that, if you could give us a breakdown of the differences, what is the combo hitter, what is the heavy hitter, and what is the combo kicker?
Well, the combo kicker was a no-brainer by bringing that out first. It was the safest and most versatile apparatus that I had come up with. The heavy hitter is still in manufacturing mode. We haven't really exactly launched that to market just yet, and as well as the combo kicker. So we're looking at bringing those in the first of the year. And so the heavy hitter is a one-dimensional punching apparatus. So you can only punch it in one direction. So you can do jab crosses, or you can stand in front of it and throw like head hooks. So it goes, like if you punch it, it goes away from you and comes back very fast. And it's also tension controlled. So if you're one of those people that want to improve your jab punches or increase the strength of your crosses, this goes anywhere from 200 pounds resistance to 1,200 pounds. And it also comes back very fast. So basically, after you throw that front jab, if you don't get your hand back to your chin, it actually hits your hand on the way back. So it teaches you a good habit and technique of covering that chin back up and not dropping your hand after a punch.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, shoot, it's teaching fundamentals, it's helping you with your skills, getting you stronger. It sounds like a great combination.
It is. It's just more for technical people, because it is like a heavy bag. You can't just walk up to it and go wham. You know, the combo hitter, you can hit it with the worst technique in the world and not have any trauma. I mean, you can hit this thing in any type of way, and you won't hurt yourself because it gives in every direction, which is the nice thing about it. And it also has a bit of tension, so it's like you're not going to hurt yourself.
So the combo hitter is a little bit for everybody. It could be all the way up from a pro, who knows what they're doing, to down to the basic person who just, is wanting to do some exercise.
James, we're putting these in high schools now for anger management. Kids are just going to the principal's office. I have these in 2 schools right now that they love this thing, because they can just give the kids the gloves and say, "Here, this until you're done," and they come out smiling. And these kids just wail away at this thing, And I got millions of videos on my YouTube channel about kids hitting this thing. It's just terrible technique, but they walk away smiling because they're working out their frustrations. So,
nice. So not just physical health benefits, but mental health benefits as well.
Well, that's what, again, why the Parkinson's Committee has backed us, because we're getting ready to put sensors on these things to show that, not only when you're punching something, if you don't have the confidence behind you that you can punch it as hard as you want without getting hurt, you're not going to punch it as hard as you want. So if you can punch this thing as hard as you want, you're going to use more muscles, more energy, and therefore can build more strength and conditioning.
Nice. So you mentioned some of the places where people can get the combo hitter, the heavy hitter, and the combo kicker. Is
right.
that like on the websites, or is that?
Well, right now we're offering. We just have the combo hitter right now to the first of the year. Then we're perfecting right now our manufacturing for the other 2. But you can go to my website, and it's called combohittersystems.com. So if you go to the combohittersystem.com, you'll see plenty of videos and blogs and pictures, and we offer free shipping right now for the Black Friday coming up.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, shoot. So it sounds like there's some big benefits for getting it right now. Like you said, the free shipping makes a great Christmas present. And then, of course, the New Year's, when people are going to be doing their New Year's resolutions for health benefits.
It is great. The company's growing. We're actually in the hunt for a new CFO, a chief financial officer that wants to come in and see the company grow to a whole other level. I do have some possible mergers on the table, but I'd like to keep it in-house and keep it a family-run business. Of course, I've told you before, me and my kids assemble these things in our garage. But I'm looking for a new CFO that is looking to keep it here in America, doesn't want to take it offshore, and keep that quality and quality control. And right now our company's growing so big that there's a lot of the office things that I can't do myself that I need to be, in manufacturing part of the business, whether it's social media or the finances, ordering materials, things like that, is something that is a little easier for someone to come into and take over than, hey, let me teach you how to weld, let me teach you how to do this, right? So that's what we're in the hunt for right now. We're looking for some people that might be interested. Of course, they'd have to put some skin in the game, and we have Costco and some major people in Australia and the UK that are looking to be distributors too. So we're looking to increase our volume in manufacturing.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like there's a lot of potential for growth and a really great opportunity to be a part of the Combo Hitter family.
Well, I mean, this is all I do. I mean, this is my passion. I love this, and when I send one of these things out, I mean, this year alone we have had 0 refunds and 0 warranty repairs. We've really perfected the product. So now it's time to really bring in some help, some smarter people that can help me take this thing to some serious levels worldwide.
The thing I really like about it is, like you mentioned about the no repairs, no warranty claims, is when you take and you have those hard hitters, like yourself or like some of the more current MMA elites try to beat up your product.
We had that in our earlier stage. We came out a little premature in 2015. We did have some pad and upholstery problems, and again, it was one of those things. It was very hard to communicate with China to say, "Hey, look, these guys are tearing the pads up. They're breaking the upholstery. They're tearing it, And so I took it back in house after the 3rd or 4th bad batch I got, and did a lot of research here at the same time while learning how to weld, learning how to drill, learning where to buy steel, learning how to manufacture and produce these products myself. I got in with the pad companies and the proper chemicals to use, and then of course, working with 3M, I invented my own gluing system that also will have more applications here down the road. But the gluing system is actually my own product as well.
Oh, wow. So your products are now all American made?
100% made right here in America by me. I mean, all the steel is here in America. Every piece of the combo hitter or the hitter system has been made directly by me and assembled with my kids.
That is remarkable. I was going to say, it sounds like you're living the American dream, creating a product, creating something that changes people's lives for the better. And, like you said, it's independently owned, and wow, that is remarkable. Now, most people know you from UFC 22 and that huge knockout.
Yeah, I've come a different path since those days, and although my last fight was in 2012 and I was 48 years old, 2012 was the UFC knockout punch in UFC 22. It's still one of the most viewed knockout punches out there, which is great to have. It's just one of those things that I wrote about in my book, Prime. Like I said, that's on Kindle. It talks about certain primes of your life and how I prepare for that. Like I was a state champ. I finished 30 Olympic trials, and then that was a prime time in my life. Certain times in your life that you absolutely prepare for, what you expect. It's that thing. It's about I'd rather prepare for an opportunity and not have the opportunity than have an opportunity come and not be prepared. So this time I was prepared, and luckily, and thank God that I had a great night. It was a great moment, and certainly I was devastated though when the UFC did not re-sign me after that fight. But I went on to Japan. Had fun out there and got to see the world. Go to other locations as well. Did a little bit of pro wrestling. Came back to fighting, and I was getting older in age, so I really want to try to maximize my time left as a professional athlete. And back then, you think about, okay, I got to do this, and then I got to find a job, or I got to find a career, or I got to start a business, and certain things happen in your life, as you well know, that if you're against the wall and you need to do something, or you got to do what you feel makes you happy and what you're passionate about, you should do it. till you just can't do it no more. I was 48 years old, and at that point, I said, okay, that was my last year fighting. And then I dove right into the business world. And James, to be honest with you, it is so much easier to succeed as an athlete than it is a businessman. I mean, the amount of people that come after you as a businessman is unbelievable. And as an athlete, I mean, you go to the gym and your training partner don't show, you can still train. It's really all on you as a fighter to go out there, or as an athlete to prepare yourself for battle. In business, it's a constant grind. And if you're not getting up before, 6 a.m., and staying up and working till 10 p.m., you're not going to succeed. Or at least make it to that top 1% if you're one of those champions out there that want to, continue that goal-oriented thing, And so it's long days. It's dealing with people who are trying to dig into your pocket, which you know about. It's people who are trying to knock you down, and you can't take no for an answer when you're trying to move forward and you're promoting what you got.
Exactly.
So,
and it sounds like you've got a great product to promote.
Well, I've been lucky with the product, I've been, it was just really weird how it all came about. Okay, I had 3 gyms. I was doing real well, and I wanted to come back and fight again. Although financially and things were going great in my business world, I really missed the fighting community, and I don't know why. Because you know what? Never made any money in it. Really, none of the guys do unless you're one of the top guys. And the time I made that knockout punch, I was one of the top guys, but the UFC just would not give me a chance to come back again and compete. And, I was ranked in the top 10, and, Rings Japan signed me. Actually, I was the first American signed to Rings Japan. And Jeremy Horn and, Randy Couture, Dan Henderson, and some of the other guys came too. But I was the first one. And, it's just a different world, between the fighting and being an athlete than as a businessman.
I was going to say, not that I want to have him on my bad side, or not that I want to be on his bad side, let me say it correctly, but just out of curiosity, how do you spell the word belt?
Belt?
Belt, like title belt, world title belt.
B-E-L-T.
Okay. I was going to say, when you mentioned about UFC and all, have you heard the thing about Shamrock? He's wanting to go back into professional wrestling, and unfortunately people are ripping on him because in his tweet he spelled B-E-A-L-T.
Oh, well, I've always wanted to fight kid. That's one I would do whatever it took to get in the cage with Ken Shamrock. And all the interviews I've ever done, no, his real name is Kendra Shamrock, and he is a cross-dressing fool. I would do anything to fight that guy again. We're the same age. So, yeah, it would be the battle of the senior citizens, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't care if it's on the street, the backyard, in a garage, basement, cage, pay-per-view, or just on a phone. I hate that guy. And I tell you what, that's the only person in the MMA community you'll ever hear me talk bad about. I really don't have a problem with anyone else. So that's the only guy.
So would you even fight him in Russia? Or
you know what? I would fight that guy anywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
just had to throw out Russia there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. But are you referring to gender wars?
Yes. I can't believe I fell for it.
You know what? Here's the thing: is we put out all the gimmicks we could put out, and it was like, oh, $1 million prize, and girl versus guy, and this, that, and the other, and it was. I can't tell you what I mean. I said pilot show. Yeah. I said this is something new, and James, just to touch on that for a second, okay? And I know we took some heat on that, but in all honesty, AJ Hiller and I, we're tired of the veteran fighters coming to us for handouts. We're tired of hearing these fighters that are homeless, that can't pay their medical bills, that basically, are injured or can't even get a job because they're so injured. Or, want to fight but can't get a fight because they're too old. So they can't go to the WWE because they suck at pro wrestling. Now, I also mentioned in my interviews that this is something similar in Japan, where they actually do choreograph fights. And regarding the gender wars thing, we were trying to use different angles to try to drum enough attention that would fund this type of a project where you see some politically correct comedy that's in the MMA community. If you're an MMA follower, that would be funny. And we did some funny things. And whether you're an athlete or an actor or a politician, you really put yourself out there as a target to possibly being, tormented or roasted, okay? And as part of the game, when you put yourself out there, it's just part of the game. And whether you get knocked out one day or you're doing a knockout one day, you put yourself out there, and it's just what happens because fans are brutal. This show was supposed to be a comedy show with choreographed martial arts. I shouldn't say that. Choreographed fights that are like a movie. And, the show came off absolutely horrible. It was crap. Absolutely crap. Now, the night before, if you'd have been at my house, you'd have been laughing till you peed your pants because we had so much fun making all the skits. I mean, we had the same guy that disguised himself as Chris Cyborg, and we called him Chris Guyborg. And then the same guy was Amanda Nunes. We called Aman Nunes. And it was the same thing, and they were interviewing each other. And, of course, we had Scott Lewis, the Dana White lookalike, as the interviewer. So it was meant to be a harmless gesture of a different way to go for our veteran fighters to still make some money. People didn't see it that way, and then, you know what? I don't care. Our intention was to employ some of the fighters out there that aren't making any money. I mean, Mark Coleman, Mark Kerr. I got friends with Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. They're broke. They can't even pay their cell phone bills. I know their manager. There's fighters out there that used to make millions that are freaking broke. And nobody's giving them any opportunity to make any money. We just wanted to try something. That's all we were doing. And I'll tell you this more than anyone else was doing, because flying these guys in for a $400 autograph signing isn't really helping them. It's an immediate fix. It's not a long-term problem fixer. This was about fixing the problem, and that's what we were trying to do. So if trying to help other people and our marketing ploys were not exactly, we tried everything to throw everything out there at everybody to let you know, like, come on, you're for real? And we're just kind of like wink, wink, and, it was just one of those things where, you have to kind of throw a curveball.
Exactly. But yeah, now I can see the big picture. Oh, it's I like it. I was going to say, but I'm biased. I'm a huge professional wrestling fan, and I definitely love the idea, like you said, of bringing back the veterans, giving them an opportunity to participate, to be able to make money. So I think both those things are great. I just at the time was like, is he really having these fights? Because some of the fights,
Hey, the dumbass UFC, they're sitting there doing this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. You know what? They're staging so much bullshit out there that it's crazy, okay? I mean, from Frank Shamrock and Kimbo Slice and Frank Shamrock and Hoist Gracie, my God, you know what have been, you know what? You want to have some of these veterans come in, don't put the turds in their corner. Put Mark Coleman and Mark Kerr and Hoist Gracie. Hoist Gracie makes money. He's got money. And, put in Dan Severn, some of these guys that can work a fight, and have them battle it out for 2 seconds in the ring or in the cage, and have everybody pull them off there. It's all about persona, what it looks like. They attacked each other, but it looked real, but it was fake, and then, that's how you get these guys paid. Not, you know what? The UFC doesn't even bring their veterans in there no more. We used to be able to go in there and reserve tickets and go watch the show and say hi to the guys and be backstage. They don't even let us do that shit no more.
That stinks.
Well, so it's like, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Stipe Miocic, one of my endorsed fighters, is fighting for the championship there. You got 8 fighters in Ohio, and none of us were allowed in the UFC.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
They sure have changed things, it sounds like.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, these guys they're making their money, and they're gonna, of course, you've seen the sport diminish. It's the ratings are down almost 45%. The buys are down almost 50%, and the only way to keep up buys are bringing in circuses. Yes, you're going to see Nunes fight Cyborg, but we did the interview on our show. We did the interview on our show with the fake, fighters. We did that, and now it's going to happen. And it's all kinds of fun stuff we did that. I guess a lot of people didn't get to see it because the Minnesota Boxing Commission put a kibosh on the whole thing, thinking that we were really putting on a fight. And although the show went on, the pay-per-view got shut off for a while. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had I'll tell you what, we had a lot of fun. Shannon Rich and Jerry Myers. It wasn't such a good match, but Shannon Rich is a good guy, good athlete, good fighter. Jerry was a pro wrestler with really no fight experience. That was part of our whole gimmick thing too. And then if you did see the show, the final was Tess Burrell versus Bam Bam. It looked real. It looked completely real. We worked and choreographed the thing the whole week. It looked fantastic, and it really looked real. And the whole thing was choreographed. And I think those things can sell just like a movie sells. It's an action movie with comedy skits. I mean, we had Hillary Clinton making out with Putin. We had so much fun, man. This is a great time.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, I'm guaranteeing you somebody's going to come up with something, and they're going to do pretty much the same thing eventually here. And it's really all about the money backing it. And maybe the whole gender wars thing was a little bit too much, and maybe the guy versus girl was a little bit too much. But, I guarantee you that the Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell fight is going to be a big draw.
2002 or something?
Tito Ortiz?
Yeah.
And Chuck Liddell?
Yeah. What was that, 2012, or when are you talking about?
They're fighting again on Bellator.
Again? Really?
Yes.
Wow. Shoot. I was going to say, maybe we will be able to get that Shamrock fight for you then, if those guys are coming back to fighting again. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm a businessman now. And, I do this thing, and I really love what I do. I'm not really part of the fighting community anymore, and but I have a passion for trying to help the guys, this, that, and the other. If we did this as a fundraiser, where basically it was to help breast cancer, do the Coleman breast cancer thing, or Parkinson's, or whatever. If this was something like that, yes, I would train hard for it, and I would donate my winnings to it. Oh, nice. That's the only way I would do it. But as far as the boxing commission is concerned, or the athletic commission, they're all a fucking joke. Excuse me, I swore there for the first time, but it's a joke. They allow only what they want to allow in the ring of the cage. And I'm talking about the McGregor-Mayweather thing was absolutely absurd. Today's boxing commissions are allowing 2 and 2 fighters to become pros, even a 1 and 2 fighter to become a pro. They're allowing a boxer who's a world champ, never been beaten, to fight a guy who's never boxed before on a worldwide pay-per-view. And I tell you what, the sport is going to hell in a handbasket.
Exactly, yeah. None of that stuff makes any sense, like you said.
It's a circus. Yeah. It's what they want to do. It's how are they going to get paid? Not how are they protecting or preserving the sports. It's about how they're going to get paid. And that's what brought me into the whole gender wars thing. I was a little ticked off about that whole Mayweather thing. I was ticked off that I keep seeing all these girls with 2 and 2 records that have world championship belts all over social media. It's like going, and I mean, belts are handed out like participation awards anymore. And it's just it's turned into a joke. So I'm like, okay, well, how about we do something like you remember when Cormier weighed in and he had 2 guys holding a towel and he's lifting himself up on a towel, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Well, we were going to do a skit with 3 blind judges all giving thumbs up, I mean, they're all holding their white canes and their glasses on and giving their thumbs up. Cormier, holding onto a cable. We're going to do skits like that they're politically correct. How do you do that? How do you have a guy hold onto a cable? They're playing a war with the towel, and he's lifting himself up on the scale.
That is some crazy stuff. I agree.
It should be made a comedy.
Exactly. So you were just taking it to the logical next level, and it sounds like.
Oh, I mean, it's like that wouldn't have happened in my day of fighting. Never did. Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, you think of these guys. I mean, the biggest shit talker in the world, besides Ken Shamrock, was Tito Ortiz, and it was nothing like what it is today.
Exactly.
I mean, you had your superstars that people actually followed, and we had a following, and they had, it's like a fan base. Now it's like, can you name me 4 guys in every weight class? No. I mean, the women's division's changed hands so many times, my God. I don't know. But that's just my take on it. It's just my opinion. It's a shame, but, it's not just me, because the ratings are down. The fan base is down. My friend A.J. Hiller at MMA Signatures used to pay all the fighters to autograph their outcoming Reebok shirts and sign their gloves and blah, blah, blah. And he paid them top money. And he used to sell product like, it was going out of style. Now, a T-shirt or a pair of gloves that he's paid $40, $50 for a fighter to sign, or $3,000 for a Chris Weidman signed T-shirt, he can't get $25 for. Oh. He can't get $5 for an autographed picture.
Dang. So it sounds like things certainly are changing.
Well, it is. And again, our intention in Gender Wars was to kind of just shake things up a bit in a more humorous fashion where people can kind of laugh a little bit more at some of the stupid shit going on. And when the true fight fans that watch this stuff and go, Oh my God! And then, okay, let's put some creativity to work now. I mean, if this was Saturday night and Trump was tweeting something, it would be on Saturday night. Okay, something funny about what he just tweeted. And that's all we wanted to do.
Exactly. So kind of combining MMA, professional wrestling, and Saturday Night Live. So nice little mix.
That's how we explained it.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
So let's see, what other exciting projects are coming up? You said you got the book already out, so people can get that on Amazon and Kindle.
Yes, it's Prime by Brad Kohler. And, again, it's to help inspire younger people or maybe some business people that are going through some trials and tribulations that can understand that they're not alone, that, some of these young athletes understand that, hey, they're not alone. We've all gone through these things, and you will make it through too. It's just about never losing faith in yourself. So my next book will be out in the spring. It's called The Makings of a Man. It's called Prime 2, The Makings of a Man. And it talks about, how to become, reach the height of your maturity. Some of the changes, especially in my life that I've made, that help you realize that, saying no more often actually helps you. And, sometimes, doing your due diligence and, making sure that you are not burning bridges, things like that.
Exactly. There's a lot more to it than just, what people think. Like you said, there's, just the responsibilities that, as being a man, that come along with it, it sounds like.
Well, I mentioned this in the first couple chapters about, I used to sit there and go, well, you couldn't get me when I was going through my divorce and having, visitation with my kids. You couldn't get me to miss a visitation with my kids. But, forget to pay my rent or forget to pay my car payment or insurance, I'd be like dumbfounded. But I knew when to go get my kids. It's like, time management, managing yourself, and again, reaching the height of your maturity. Making sure if you're weak in one area to work harder at that. I keep my book short, 50 pages, 60 pages. Reason is I read about 2 books a month, and I remember the very first book I read in 8th grade that kind of set me on this path is called The Ape Inside Me. And I just hated long books. I hated long books. I just wanted to read something that was a little bit more directed towards me and shorter. Okay, I read a book. Hey, scratch, no feather in my cap, right? So for some of the people that don't like reading books and getting into that habit, because most top CEOs or that top 1% read a book a day, a book a week, a book a month, but they read books, and that's how they get to that where they're at. It's by constant knowledge, and then of course, holding that knowledge in only upsets the brain. You need to release the knowledge and utilize that, whether you're helping someone or helping yourself or doing something that is beneficial for society, basically. But you can't hold that knowledge in, and people are sometimes afraid to do that. So it talks about also, the other side of fear is courage, and in going through those steps to not be afraid, because all in all, when it comes down to it, you're still alone. There's nobody that can say anything to you that's going to make you do something you don't want to do unless it's you. And sometimes making the harder choices is what makes you become that man. And I don't just mean a man, I mean a woman, or I'm talking about an adult.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you're not talking about gender. You're talking about based on
metaphorically speaking, an adult.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's more about maturity, not about I see what you're saying there. Yes.
So writing these books and stuff like that isn't a money making thing for me. They're only $4.95 or something like that on Kindle, and I think I get 82 cents a book or whatever. But and they've sold okay. They got a couple good ratings on there, but it's more for myself. Like I said, it's about your personal growth, and I recommend anyone there who has goals and has had trouble and some real struggles in life. Maybe if you don't want to publish it, it's always good to write it. That way it just helps you with personal growth.
Exactly. Even if you're just doing it for yourself, just to get it out there, to physically or emotionally deal with things, and to learn from them. It makes sense.
Well, it does. For me, it does. Not everybody does. And I understand that and respect that. But I was at the point, where I've been writing my biography for years now, and it was back in the days when I was really, really sick with cancer and I was dying, and I wanted my kids to know who their father was. So I started writing about my childhood and my high school and my college, and all of a sudden I overcame my illness, and I just kept writing my biography, and I keep adding more and more chapters to it every year because, of course, I'm still here. It's just one of those things that I got into writing about myself, but never really published a book. And I was always interested in life coaching, motivating kids, and helping others. I love, going back to my high school 3 years ago, and they told me that they haven't had a new weight room in 40 years. Well, since I left. And I left 35 years ago, but they got their first weight room 40 years ago, and and they still had plastic weights in there, James. And I'm like going, my goodness, what's going on here? And, I was a state champ. I was all state in football. All those things. I was, Division I. I was in a big school, and our weight room was just pathetic. But since then, it hasn't changed. And the coaches and people, I said, why hasn't anything been done? Oh, the school won't buy it. The district won't buy it. I says, well, we'll do this. And they said, you can't do it. I'm like going, what? Yeah, we'll raise the money. We'll get this. I will reach out to every alumni friend that I have. And I did. And I reached out to every friend alumni I had. I had 2 fundraisers and local community businesses, and we bought that school a brand new weight room, and it's beautiful. It's Fairview High School weight room, and you can look at the transitions from phase 1 to phase 6 of a finished weight room, and it's scarlet and gray, just like Ohio State. It's a beautiful weight room, and I tell you what, it's really helped the kids, and it really kind of showed the community that, hey, if we work together in doing something, we can accomplish anything. And so when I started helping the Parkinson's community, it was really kind of something that hit home a little bit more for me because I love the box. Okay, I may be known for a knockout punch, but I was more of a puncher, not a boxer. But I just love the fitness part of boxing. And if I can have my apparatus, my combo hitter, help these people that are, if you think about this, if you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, you've been sentenced to death. You've been sentenced to death. There's no cure. But if you can help them fight this thing and slow it down a little bit, well, I'm all in. I started making my combo hitters better. I started bringing them in, donating them to the Cleveland hospitals. I donated them to other Rock City boxings. I just donated my 8 station ones to 2. These are $4,000 units that I just donated to 2 Rock City boxing locations. And I tell you, that to me, that to me is it's better than the knockout punch. The feeling I got from seeing these people loving my product and fighting to fight against their diagnosis. That to me was much better. If you see these people every day come in there knowing there's no cure and they show up every day, that to me meant a lot more.
I know what you mean. Well, that's the reason why we love having you and your company on our network, is because you do change lives and you impact people like that. and we think that is just phenomenal.
Well, thank you. And I don't do this for any publicity or nothing like that. I just, it got to me. A friend of mine from high school, she's a nurse at the University Hospital. She was telling me about what's going on, and the patients don't like hitting heavy bags because of it hurts. It hurts when they hit, and I'm like, well, I came up with the combo hitter. Would they like that? And all of a sudden, the whole thing just kind of went, viral with this is the product for Parkinson's. And so, again, as much as I sell through Rogue Fitness and Forza Sports and all the other websites, including Ringside, the donations I give kind of offset any profits I make. So again, I'm trying to expand my business to keep it home here, where I can, make it myself, keep the quality at a high quality, and at least have my margins where I can continue my business,
Very true. So if fans are wanting to find more out about the combo hitter or follow you and your inspirational writing on social media, where's the best place?
Well, Facebook, the hitter system, or combo hitter, there's two different pages. So we have the hitter system or combo hitter. On Facebook is probably the best way to go and see. You can look up Midland, Michigan. It says UFC fighter donates to Parkinson's, and you'll see the whole article and video on that. Then the one I just delivered last week in Indianapolis, which is their corporate office. They're doing a bit on that now. With their news crews and local newspapers, but it's really about bringing awareness to the cause. I would love to see other people jump on board and join me in this cause to help these facilities that the patients don't have insurance to pay for their memberships; they have to pay it themselves. So it's almost like a CrossFit membership. The gym owners are like nurses that don't have the funding to open their own gyms. 3 years ago, they had 12 locations. Now they have over 300. So there's a passion for other people out there like myself that want to help these people, because there's more Parkinson's diagnosed every day than we can keep up with. And so that's why it's growing so fast. And, like I said, it's certainly no cure. But it beats medication, and it certainly gets these people in a much better mindset, and they're very happy being there. So it's just awesome.
Exactly, and I mean your story sounds very inspiring. I mean it makes listening to it makes me want to participate and help be part of the solution as opposed to part of the problem. And it sounds like there is a really great opportunity out there to give back and to be able to change lives.
Well, while we're on this planet, there's, I used to think, and I listen to these motivational things every day, and it says, there's, when you're born, there's two things that you should know. The day you're born and the reason why you're born. And, I think I found myself, not only a product that I'm passionate about, but a situation where I can actually help people, and it's not just about the almighty dollar. I've never been one of those guys that want to go out there and make $1 million. I'd rather make 1 million people smile.
I agree. It definitely. I mean, it's one of those things that are going to last a lot longer. It's going to have a much bigger impact on the community, and it's going to, like you said, change lives for the better. And like you said, those people are out there; they're struggling with their condition. But if you're able to ease that burden in any way, it's huge.
Well, I think about if it was you or me or someone else I knew or this, that, and the other, what would we do? Would we be a, spectator or will we jump in and say, I'll drive you, I'll take you, I'll hold the mitts for you, I'll hold the bag for you. A lot of people get wrapped up in their own life so much that it's just not, so what these people do at Rock City Boxing is just beyond being living saints. I mean, I've met so many of these affiliates and ladies and guys that are the coaches for Rock City Boxing that honestly, there should be title belts for them for doing what they do.
Exactly. And that's one of those things that, the people there, they're not doing it for that praise. They're not doing it for the recognition, but they deserve it. They definitely do. And they don't get the recognition they deserve, but they do it because they love being able to change lives. And like your the combo system has helped change lives and helped people.
Well, James, if these ladies and men can go there to train these patients basically on their own time for free because they can't afford, the places for a Parkinson's membership, it really doesn't, it pays for their facility, it doesn't really pay for the trainer. And I've met so many that don't get paid doing this. They do it out of their passion, then they have another full-time job on top of their part-time job volunteering to coach the Parkinson's patients, and this is the Rock Steady Boxing thing. And I tell you what, it's great being a part of people that have that big of hearts,
Definitely. Before we let you go, tell us one more time where people can get the combo hitter and where people can take part in giving back to Rocksteady and great causes like that.
Well, by giving back to Rocksteady, I mean, if you support the posts that we do and share the posts that we do, and certainly, that's one of the things also people don't realize when you see posts that you like, you should put on that you like that and support it, this, that, and the other. It helps people stay motivated. You don't have to buy the product, but if you like the post, it really does help us inspire as business people that, okay, at least somebody liked our post, But combohittersystems.com is my website, and on there you can link to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Instagram, everything. It has all the links on there. And then, so if you go to combohittersystems.com, it should guide you through the whole thing. And James, I really appreciate your time again, man. It's always good talking to you, and I'm always here for you, brother.
Hey, my pleasure. Somebody like yourself who gives back to the community, we always have time for. We always have time for that good cause, that good reason to change lives. So definitely thank you for being on the show, Brad.
James, thank you so much.